Welcome everyone to the SERL Domino's Pizza Truck Series Season 2 Race 20 at Rockingham Speedway, or as others like to call it, The Rock. And I think that we are in for what can be a very dramatic, exciting, intense race as we go around and around and around on the 1 mile D-shaped oval that is pretty historic. They've been racing here for decades and played a huge part into like NASCAR's growth. And while NASCAR isn't here anymore, it's still a very historical track that many uh, remember. And here is a layout of the racetrack. So to me, this racetrack kind of is a little bit like Darlington or Gateway in my opinion, because you have two different corners. They're banked differently, and the way you approach these corners is slightly different. And I think that other than that, the racing at this track to me kind of reminds me of like a short track, because uh, you'll be seeing drivers on the bumper, you'll be seeing some beating and banging, and I think that we could be in for some nasty crashes. We saw a little bit of that a season ago when the Hot Wheels Cup Series raced here, Season 1, Race 17, and that race also had, I think it had many different leaders, like maybe around like 5 or 6 different leaders, but I think that was mainly due to pit strategy. And there were drivers that were good early, and then there were drivers that were good late. And I think that we could see that today as well. One of those drivers that was really good was Clev Crafton, and the reason why I bring up Clev Crafton is because he is in the championship hunt this season. And he's second in points, 10 points behind the points leader, Mason Jefferson. And currently, there are 7 drivers in the championship picture. And so, as of right now, any one of these 7 drivers have a mathematical shot of winning the championship. But realistically, I think it's down to Mason Jefferson and Cleb Crafton. But there are still other drivers. Garrett Sinor is rising. Bev Crafton, the 3-time winner. Abe Troxell, and Johnny Worth. Those are the remaining drivers that are in the picture. And I think that this race is probably going to, I think like half of the picture will succeed and gain a lot of points, and the other half is going to fall out of the picture. That's what I see happening. And also, I think that last season, I don't know, like the winner of last season's race, which was a Hot Wheels Cup Series race, I don't know if that was Tony Green's first win or second career win. But to me, I think that we could very well see a new winner, like we saw last week at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, where our winner was Cameron Garlington. He led every single lap, but to me, I think what helped him the most was how, on the very first lap, exiting the first number corner, Charles Belding and a few other drivers battling for second place all get together, and it creates a huge pile up. And I think, to me, there were so many damaged cars that it really, I think, put them at disadvantage, and Cameron Garlington, who probably had the cleanest car of them all, went on to win the race. And to me, I think at this race, that race was kind of it was kind of a survival race, and I think that this race could be the same. Anyway, now let's get the trucks rolling off for the first ever time at Rockingham. Here is the starting lineup. So the positions that I'll mention to you: second, fifth, 10th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 30th, and 37th. That's where 7 of those 8 are the championship pitcher. One of those is the previous winner, Cameron Garlington. And when we look at the front row, Lion Mills Jr. was scoring his third career pole, and to the outside of him, Cleb Crafton. And last season, Cleb Crafton started on the pole in the Hot Wheels Cup Series race, so looks like he's figured out this racetrack. And I mentioned Cleb Crafton second in points. He starts on the front row. The points leader starts dead last, so this shall be interesting. Here we go. Coming out, number 4, Lion Mills Jr. leads us to the green flag. Pretty even start, but the bottom is the way to go around this racetrack. Here comes Kendall Domino going to the inside of Garrett Sinor, third in the points. Riley Smith in the 4, scoring first for winner here. There they go, and there goes Johnny Worth. Johnny Worth in the 84, down the racetrack here, into the inside wall. We need to watch out. It looks like they all saved it. Oh, no, there they go. Kenny Hamlin, Bro, and Kedgehaw go around into Kendall Domino. Oh, Mason Jefferson got a piece of it. Looks like Johnny Worth got even more damage. So overall, not exactly the start that we had that we had last week at Mossport, but still a pretty wild start. And now Riley Smith grabbed the lead. Yeah, I think that in today's race, I think that we could be in for a lot of lead changes. Here is what happens. So outside the top 20, Johnny Worth goes a little too high, and so he hits the outside wall. And turn 2, I think, is going to be a huge trouble spot. And down into Connor Breeden and Payne Keys, Johnny Worth goes into the inside wall, then gets hit by Connor Breeden again. And some of these drivers actually catch some slight amount of error here. Then Payne Keys goes right back into Connor Breeden. So this is what initially brought the caution. And for both of these drivers, their days might be over. But let's take a look and see what happened to Ronan Kedchog and Kenny Hamlin. It looks like once again the same thing happened once again. Yep, got too high and went right down into the field. Jimmy Johns also collected some damage in that as well, as we're having some weird glitchy problems. Then Kenny Hamlin down into Kendall Jamel. Kendall Minor, Mason Jefferson did a nice job to not get as much damage as he could have received, and then Johnny Worth hits Kenny Hamlin. And now let's go on board some driver. Johnny Worth has been slipping back these past few weeks, but it's mostly been because of him getting involved in something not of his own making. I don't think he can exactly say that this time. I think he just got a little too high, and he was already in a deep hole starting in the back, but now he's not even in a deeper hole. You might had seen it when we were on board Johnny Worth, and I'm going to show it to you again, this time going on board Bruno Hedgehog. So he hits the outside wall coming out of turn number 2, and then he'll do the same thing entering turn number 4. So maybe when he hit the outside wall, it broke something on his car. No DNFs, but Payne Keys will restart on the inside because he is 1 lap down, so he'll be trying his best to get himself back on the lead lap. But to me, I think that he's probably going to be more of an interference, but that's just my opinion. And here is where the field will restart. So Johnny Worth and Mason Jefferson are still in the back of the field, and in the meantime, Riley Smith in the 4, he just grabbed the lead, and he's still in search of his first career win. And here we go, the green flag is back out. I'm curious to see, yeah, Payne Keys, he's just a slow car. This is going to be interesting. Right in front of Charles Belding and Garrett Sinor. Oh no, this is not good. This is not good. He's going to hold the entire field. Okay, he goes to the high side, that's good. If he goes to the high side, he should be able to get out of harm's way. But whoa, my guess here. Kyle Kaminsky, Leia Walker, Dior here in the wall. Oh my gosh, and there we go, another crash. Bobby Una goes around. Oh, I think it's Kelman or sideways. No, never mind. That's playing Keys. Oh no, Mason Jefferson, the points leader. A lot of front damage, and that's what you get for starting in the back. But to me, this is not good. With Club Crafton now second place on the racetrack, and Mason Jefferson now with some heavy damage, this might end up giving the points lead to Club Crafton, or maybe someone else. But let's take a look and see what happened. Whoa. I had a feeling that Payne Keys was going to be an interference, and he was. And once he went to the high side, that basically told many drivers, I gotta go to the inside, and it actually made things even worse. So basically what happened was that, I think you saw what happened to Bobby Una. Him and Ian Saunders just hooked together. But right here, Ben Braley has to slow down, and Andrew Gorman does not get the message. It goes into Ben Braley, and then up into William Bedford. Both drivers go hard into the outside wall. Blaine Keys gets collected, so does Kenny Hamlin. Crafton barely squeezes on by. Kendall Jamel gets damaged, and then Mason Jefferson just has nowhere to go. And so it looks like that we might have a couple drivers going behind the wall, such as Mason Jefferson. And I think that we might see this a couple more times today, because I remember in last season's event, in the Hot Wheels Cup Series, there were a couple of cautions where multiple incidents were happening at one time, and they were mostly coming off of turn number 4. I'm curious to see if Aiden Saunders got pushed by Abe Troxel into Bobby Una, or if Aiden Saunders simply just could have given a little more extra room. Hayden Jefferson must have brought a golden horseshoe. Cameron Gallatin is in a totally different position than where he was last week. Cameron Gallatin is in a totally different position than where he was last week. Cameron Gallatin was in a totally different position than where he was last week, because last week he led every single lap, and so he didn't have to worry about being in messes like this one. If Mason Jefferson does not win this championship, he'll probably look at this as one of the reasons why he didn't win it. I think that he probably could have slowed down a little bit more, you know, because I felt like that he was going into that pileup just way too fast. For the second time in 3 weeks, Mason Jefferson will finish outside the top 30 in the garage, dead last. Absolutely what he not need at this is not what he needed at all. And now this totally opens the door for Club Crafton, Garrett Sinner, Bill Crafton to all gain points and maybe take away this points lead. So things are going to get interesting right here. Will these drivers still be as aggressive or less? And anyway, Riley Smith leads us back to the green flag. So we saw how Pankey's was definitely interference this time, and once again he's still slow. Blankeys goes to the inside of him. Now he's gonna be right. Now he's gonna go right in front of Lyon Mills Jr. Garrett Sinner is gonna slide by just fine. Oh no, I'm not feeling good with this. Here we go again. Here we go again. We're going 2 and 3 wide once again. Pankey's get out of the way. Oh no. Whoa, my goodness, Pankey's almost got hooked. Meanwhile, drivers that are currently enjoying this right now, Riley Smith, Club Crafton, Garrett Sinner, they're all enjoying this. They're probably hoping that Pankey's gets in the way and leads to a crash that takes out even more drivers in the picture. Because to me, that's what they need. They don't need those drivers to close in on them. Well, I guess Phil Goldberg into the outside wall. It looks like things have possibly calmed down. And anyway, we now have a 4-car breakaway. And here comes Club Crafton. Club Crafton trying to lead a lap. That's 1 bonus point closer to taking away the points lead. But watch out, Jacob Reed behind him. Jacob Reed, I gotta say, I think this driver has really stepped up his game these past few weeks. And right behind him is Jim Kelly, a driver that he was actually very good. He actually almost got the win last season. And last season in the Hollywood Cup Series, he was just so dominant, and I think that's what also helped him. But to me, Jim Kelly was the thing. I think he had the strongest car, but to me, pit strategy, I think it was like pit strategy that caused him to restart, like around like 10th place or so. And because there were so many cautions, there were just less and less opportunities for him to pass cars, and then by the end of it, it was just too late. But anyway, whoa, Lyon Mills Jr. in the 92 into the outside wall. Okay, it looks like everything is alright. And so far we have stayed green. But to me, it is still an 8-car breakaway up front. And now, Riley Smith, he did lead that last lap, but now our leader should be Club Crafton. But look at this, Riley Smith trying to gain some momentum on the high side. Yeah, I think that this is a track where sometimes the outside can prevail, but here we go. Once again, side by side. This is some great racing. This is why Rockingham did make its return, just because I think that this track really does produce some really great racing side by side. Even the outside has the advantage. But look at this, Jim Kelly 3 wide, and at the same time he's trying to take a lead. He's trying to take the lead away from Club Crafton. Matt Hotchkiss in the 23 also joining in the mix, along with Elgin Mills. Right behind them, Ian Saunders. He's really trying to close in that gap, and I think he's really go here. Oh my goodness! Club Crafton gets turned by Jim Kelly, but actually that held him because he actually pulled away from them. Oh my goodness, that could have been really bad and really huge for Club Crafton. Anyway, Elgin Mills here. Oh my gosh, Jacob Reed gets turned right into Ian Saunders. They go around. Caution will be out. And for Ian Saunders, I was just talking about how he's been moving on up. And Jacob Reed almost hits him once again. Is that going to bring out a caution? Yep, the caution is out. And so Club Crafton will lead all of his caution laps, so that's good. Because now he'll be one step closer to winning the most laps. But to me, I think that you probably saw it coming, just because they were racing super aggressive and just so tight, close racing. 3 wide. I mean, Club Crafton, he almost got turned and went head on into the pit wall. That really could have been a really nasty crash for Club Crafton, but that did not happen. And to me, once that started, I had a feeling that they were only just seconds away before something like that would happen. And fortunately, took out two of maybe the best drivers in this race, Jacob Reed and Aiden Saunders. Just like what caused the first caution, Jacob Reed goes a little too high, hits the wall, and then Riley Smith is right on his bumper. Riley Smith can't slow down just in time, and Aiden Saunders, who was just ahead of Jacob Reed, got hit in the right side. Got hit in the right side, and both these drivers go around and tap the inside wall. And while it doesn't look like that their days are going to be over, it looks like that their chances of winning the race are they've now completely diminished. It's going to take almost like a miracle for both of these drivers, or at least one of these drivers, to get back in the hunt to win the race. So here is how they will restart. So no DNFs, and we still have two drivers that will restart on the inside. But now it is reversed. Now it is Blaine Keys ahead of Payne Keys, and Blaine Keys, he is faster than Payne Keys. So maybe Blaine Keys he could possibly be able to challenge Cloud Crafton to get his lap back. But anyway, the pace car now pulls down per road, and now this time we're going to use our spectator camera as the green flag comes back out at the Rock. Club Crafton, he did show some promise at winning this race a season ago, but to me, what really got in the way was just pit strategy. He was on a different pit strategy, and it caused it caused him to get himself into lap traffic, and so he couldn't really charge back here. But anyway, Panky's really getting in the way. I am not liking this at all. And there they go. Abe Troxell goes around. Abe Troxell right back in front of the field. Oh no, we got a bigger crash, and it involves Cameron Garlington. So once again, the caution is out. And just like what we saw 2 cautions ago, I think once again Payne Keys, he's just really in the way, and it might take until we have less than 10 laps to go. Then in that case, Payne Keys won't be restarting on the inside, and it won't be as much of an interference. But anyway, one driver that's just loving all of this, Club Crafton. Well, let's take a closer look, because that crash kind of came out of nowhere. I think drivers like Abe Troxell are a great example about how lap traffic can really screw up your day, because Abe Troxell, he restarted in the 9th position, and even if he did not wreck, look at all the drivers that were going by him. And to me, the same could be said about Riley Smith and Luke Walker. But anyway, what happened right here was that a couple drivers that hooked together right up into Abe Troxell, and then right here, what happened was that Hayden Jefferson goes down onto Cameron Garlington right up in front of Jimmy Johns, and overall, I'm kind of surprised that this didn't become a bigger crash than what it ended up being. And once again, Bill Crafton barely squeaked by. He did get some damage, but it could have been a lot more worse. So Bill Crafton, he's kind of maybe we should just give him the award for best Dodger today. To me, Hayden Jefferson was just in the mess that he couldn't get out of. I think Dale Scott deserves some camera time because A, he's had a pretty rough season. He's spent, I think, the majority of the season around last in points, and B, he's come close on a couple of occasions to get involved in wrecks, but yet he barely avoided them, or got out of the mess just in time. Once again, no DNFs, but we still have Blaine Keys and Payne Keys starting on the inside. Blaine Keys, I don't think that he's really as much of an interference as Payne Keys is going to be on this restart. And so we're going to keep our eye on him to see what else he does. So anyway, coming out of turn number 4, Club Crafton continues to lead, and he is just loving this. One driver that is not loving this, his closest competitor, or the only driver ahead of him in the points entering the weekend, Mason Jefferson. He is still dead last, and he'll finish there regardless of what happens. So who decides to make the move to the inside? First is Daniel Voiles, followed by Leah Walker. Last in the 4, he really was a huge loser to that last restart when all of this happened. And here we go. They're all getting bunched up once again. As my frame rate is still really crappy. Leah Walker, ooh, okay, this is not getting good. Okay, so Riley Smith gets by him. Charles Belling, but the caution is out. This time it's not because of Payne Keys. Interesting. What happened? Kenny Hamlin is pretty slow. I have a feeling that maybe he hit the outside wall and then got hooked and went right down into the inside wall. Right from the start, Jimmy Johns, who did get some damage in that last crash, he was just a slower car here, and that really held up Kenny Hamlin. And then Cameron Garlington gets into Phil Goldberg right into Kenny Hamlin. Kenny Hamlin goes into the outside wall here. Johnny Wolf also got some damage, and so he spins around. And I think that with the hard look that he took into the outside wall with the front end of his car or truck, he will be out of the race. Kenny Hamlin will retire from the race. And now Payne Keys, where is he? Payne Keys he's still in the middle of the field, but to me, I don't think that he'll be as much of an interference now that he's restarting or just blending in with the pack. And now drivers like Elgin Mills and Jim Kelly finally have a chance to see what they have before Club Crafton, and they might as well try to make the move now, because at this rate, we're just going to keep on seeing cautions, and if a caution does come out right away, Elgin Mills has to make the move right now, and that's what he's trying to do. To the inside of Club Crafton. Club Crafton, he's already won a race. Elgin Mills has not. Here we go. Daniel Boyles in the 6th also trying to get up there. Blaine Keys into the outside wall, and there we go. There is Payne Keys once again. Actually, they all saved it. They all saved it. I thought that was going to create a crash, but anyway, Elgin Mills now leads, and Club Crafton he wants to gain. He needs to gain. I think that he wants to gain as many points as he can in order to really have a big points lead, because as of right now, Club Crafton would be the points leader by a lot. But anyway, right behind him, he's kind of holding up Daniel Boyles. Jim Kelly trying to go to the inside. Here comes Garrett Sinner. Garrett Sinner, he comes into this race 3rd in points. And so chances are, unless they all wreck, we could be looking at 1-2 in points being Club Crafton and Garrett Sinner. But anyway, Daniel Boyles here. Now he's closing in on Elgin Mills. And Jimmy Johns, he's about half a lap ahead of the leaders. And Riley Smith in the 4, he has really fallen off here. Something is wrong with his car, which is once again another shame, just because he was so good in the early portion of the race. And Saunders really has not been able to go anywhere along with Jacob Reed. But anyway, Elgin Mills is still a leader. Daniel Boyles, I don't know if he's waiting to make a move or if his car is just not that good. Here he goes to the inside, side by side, entering turn number 1. Daniel Boyles should have the position. Now, with these two being side by side, will it allow Club Crafton to catch up on them? Club Crafton, he falls in right behind Elgin Mills. Ben Bailey in the 40, he's looking for his first career Truck Series 1. He won a couple weeks ago in the American Ethanol Series at Chatham. But anyway, now this top 8 has really separated themselves from the rest of the field, just a little bit over Matt Hotchkiss, Garrett Sinor, etc. Leia Walker. Bobby Unit, he went for a spin off of the back bumper of Van Saunders, and he's actually made a pretty nice recovery now into the top 10, along with Dale Scott. I gave him an onboard camera recently in this race, and look at this. I think that this could be Dale Scott's first top 10 in a while here. Ball gets here, he gets turned, hits Bobby Unit, and then Luke Walker gets into the back of him. But anyway, we're on the final lap. One more lap to go. Daniel Wells is still a leader, and it looks like that. Club Crafton, he's trying to take away second. Will he have the position? Here they go. He's trying to get him out of the way, but it doesn't look like it's gonna be enough. Coming out, turn number 4. Daniel Wells sees the checker flag, and he will win at Rockingham. This is his first career win since the season finale 1 season ago at Daytona. And for Daniel Boyles, it's been a pretty up and down season, and now for the first time in this season, he gets his first up victory. I know that probably made 0 sense, but sorry. But anyway, here is the finishing results to what has been a pretty wild race. 2 long green flag runs, but it was mostly a caution after caution situation, and overall, just a lot of great racing, especially up front. And here is the rest of the field. So Mason Jefferson finishes dead last because of a crash into me. That's why qualifying is good is so important, because Mason Jefferson, he started dead last, finished dead last. Club Crafton started second, but he led the most laps and comes home with a nice 3rd place finish. That really shows the power and helpfulness of track position. And it looks like that Blank Keys, what happened to him? this is what happened. So coming down to the pits, Blanky's I don't know if his car was broken or something, but to me, he just cannot turn down in time and goes right into the tire barrier. So that's what happened to him. So pretty strange, and overall, just simply a uh, I kind of feel like that's really like insult to injury to what has been a pretty rough day for him, and just overall pretty rough season for him. But anyway, but anyway, that is Rockingham once again. So once again, I'll pull up the finishing results. And so yeah, so I said it in the final few laps, but to me, I think that our top 2 points will now be uh, Cliff Crafton and Garrett Sinner because they finished inside the top 10. And really, I don't know. Everyone else in points really did not make that much of an impact. I mean, Biff Crafton, he did do a nice job of avoiding crashes, and if he didn't avoid those crashes, it could have been a lot more worse. But overall, all of a sudden, this has quickly gone from it went from being Mason Jefferson's house entering the weekend to now Cliff Crafton and Garrett Sinner's just it was kind of like Mason Jefferson's championship to lose to now kind of being like will be either Club Crafton or Garrett Sinner. So overall, heading to next week, which I don't remember where we're going. I think we're going to Dover, but I cannot exactly remember. No, actually, it's Lucas Oil, which is going to be the final short track this series goes to, and the final night race this series goes to. That's next week. So anyway, I would like to thank everyone for watching this race. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and bye. Congrats to Daniel Voiles.